completed 25 sketchbooks in 5 years. Literally all of these. I'm sharing top secrets I've learned over the years so that you know exactly how to fill your sketchbook quickly without having stress or pressure. I've put together 8 top tips so that you can complete a sketchbook without stress. And number 1 is always finish your artwork. If a piece isn't going well and you don't think you want to go back to tackle it, best thing you can do is quickly finish it. Even if that means adapting and filling in areas a little bit differently, just get it done. You're not going to feel inspired opening up a sketchbook and finding a ton of unfinished pieces. Or in this case, it's actually the front cover. I painted the cover of a sketchbook I hated to try and fall in love with it, and it all went tragically wrong. But what can we do in the moment? Well, we have to detour, reach for a different medium, a different style, and do whatever you can to finish that piece. It might not be what you had in mind, but it's still better than leaving it unfinished. There are so many pages in sketchbooks that I actually hate, with lots of little mini paintings, and a couple of them went terribly. There's even an entire sketchbook I have that I hated using. Didn't like the paper, and because of that, I didn't enjoy the process. Pieces didn't go as planned, and I just wanted to be done with that sketchbook. And rather than having it sit there unfinished in your drawer, just race through and get the sketchbook done. You will feel so much better for it. Even if the art isn't going to plan, get it finished, get done, move on. Everything is part of your journey, so don't forget that. Number 2, sketch or write down flashes of inspiration. Make sure you have places you can go to pop your ideas down. Generally, mine come as I'm settling down for bed, which is incredibly inconvenient. So I actually use the Notes app on my phone to list video ideas, art ideas, whatever I can think of. Or if the daily doodle diary is handy, this is where I pop messy sketches. When inspiration strikes, draw the sketch and plan the idea, but wait to create art until you have time. If it's 2 AM and you have an idea, sketch it in a sketchbook and then go to bed. Reaching for a canvas and getting out paints isn't gonna help in the long run, because you probably won't be able to push through the ugly stage before getting tired and needing the sleep. Then you might wake up in the morning, see what you've created and hate it, because you didn't set yourself up for success. Sometimes it's best to do what you can with what you have and wait until you have a bit more time. Number 3, fight your fears. If you know something will cause you anxiety, like the first page of a sketchbook or working next to a piece you love, don't think about it, just do it. Prioritize it before filling other pages. It doesn't have to be amazing, it just has to be done. Leaving it will only make it worse. I'm gonna be completely honest, I am the worst for this. So for this lovely new sketchbook, I forced myself to fill the first page first. Reach for the watercolors and paint a face and just get the first page done. And it genuinely might be one of my favorite pieces. I am so happy I made that decision, because in every other sketchbook, I am terrified. You can see the majority of them start with swatch pages, but that's completely okay. In this sketchbook, I even did my color chart and left the first page until the very end. This face is literally the last page I did in this sketchbook. This sketchbook holds a special place in my heart, but it really doesn't matter what you put on the first page. Do swatches, do a color chart, do some blends, some tests, techniques, whatever you need to do to get that first page done so that you can move on. Number 4, and by far the easiest in my opinion, do month-long art challenges. Literally the easiest way. You could complete 28, 29, 30, 31 pages. And even if you don't complete it, you've still filled in a lot, especially when you consider transfer, which I didn't at the beginning. Learned that the hard way. For alcohol markers and watercolor, you really only want to use one side of the sheet, because otherwise, unfortunately, those mediums could go through the page page and destroy what's on the other side. Watercolor, markers, color pencil, you can't really be sure with any of them unless you set them in place or put paper in between. So most of the time it's actually one sheet per art prompt. Most sketchbooks have anywhere from 20 to 50 sheets, so you can easily complete an entire sketchbook by just doing an art challenge. This Ohuhu sketchbook is actually a big one, and just look at how many pages Inktober takes up. The same with Peachtober and this mini sketchbook. Actually completed the whole challenge in 24 hours. That's a crazy video. I'll leave it below if you want to see. And just look at how many pages Peachtober is taking up in this sketchbook. It could be half, it could be the vast majority. Whether you complete the art challenge or not, it's a fantastic way to fill a sketchbook. And with that, you could even turn them into stickers for a small business, like these little cuties. There are also themed month-long art challenges like Mermaid. It's the best way to fill a sketchbook with art quickly. Number 5, try not to cover up your art, especially every time things don't quite go to plan. I often see other artists reach for a post-it note and cover their art, and whilst that's fine, you don't want to get in the habit of constantly striving for perfection and covering up anything that isn't that. Because firstly, that's going to make your perfectionism worse. And secondly, we only have so many hours in the day. If you're drawing for an hour and then stick something on top or paint over it, you've spent 1 hour creating art and made no progress on your sketchbook. Plus, there's no evidence it even happened. So when you look back in your book, you're not going to see that progress. And that progress is important. It's your journey and it's how you see your growth. Creating bad art is fine because it shows the journey you've been on and how far you've come. Controversial opinion incoming, okay? I don't think you should ever throw away art you don't like. Don't bin it, don't paint over it, because every single part is you and your art journey. That's just my opinion anyway. I don't know, what's your stance on it? Throw it away or keep everything? Let's discuss in the comments. All I know is we're all gonna create art we don't like. Like, look at all these pieces, I don't like these. They were quick and at this point I just wanted to finish the sketchbook, use up paint that was left over, and create weird little pieces. But in doing so, I then moved on to create pieces I really liked. Everything is a lesson, and if you can take something from that mistake, from something that didn't quite go to plan, you can use that to create a piece you absolutely love. In a lot of ways, we need to fail to succeed. Number 6, you don't have to fill the entire page in one sitting. Break down the page. And if the blank page feels daunting, why don't you doodle at the scale you're comfortable with? You can always come back to fill gaps. That also goes for art challenges in pieces where you used a medium that might go through the page. Something like ink that was used here. For Inktober, every single left side was left, but that doesn't mean we can't go back to it with a different medium and sketch a bunch of characters inspired by star signs for that series. Don't be afraid of leaving the blank space and coming back to it later. You don't have to fill it all in order. These silly little cacti were actually painted over about a year from various bits of leftover ink after doing Peachtober, after doing Inktober. Everything in this sketchbook is just leftover paint. And yeah, maybe I'll go back to it one day. Maybe I'll draw something on top of it. The sketchbook isn't done. It's only done when you say it's done. Similarly, if you just want to add something small to a sketchbook, like these eyes, noses, various little paintings, or studies like clouds and flowers. Most days you're not going to want to fill an entire A4 page, and that is completely okay. Number 7, set yourself a challenge or deadline. Make it interesting, fill so many pages in one day. You could learn a new art supply, or set a date to complete it by. This is particularly helpful if you have ADHD, especially. You might already know that on this channel we do a lot of timed art challenges, whether that's a 24-hour challenge, or seeing how many pages we can fill in a colouring book in 1 hour, or an art prompt book. Don't underestimate what you can gain from setting a deadline. And to be honest, I kind of set a deadline every single time I film a video. I wake up, start early in the morning, and give myself a deadline to finish before the sun sets. That's always my goal in order to film the best video I can, but it also helps keep me accountable and keep things moving. Sometimes when you're colouring or drawing, you can get held up on the tiny little details, and giving yourself a deadline of a certain point in time can help things keep moving so that you keep on making progress. But make sure to keep it within your own capability. You're wanting to push yourself but not fail, and it doesn't have to be a time. All of these sketchbooks were completed in 24 hours, but of course you don't have to do that. It doesn't have to be a time. It could be as simple as following a sketchbook idea from a YouTube video. There are so many incredible channels on here that do just that. I have some videos. There's also Courageous Painting, Creative Paula. You also know that following a sketchbook idea is going to be fun because you've seen the outcome. You know you like it. It's not causing anxiety. On the other hand, there are challenges like the 100 Heads Challenge, where you have 10 days to draw 100 heads. And as you can see, it does fill an entire sketchbook. And there are art prompt books like mine, How Much Art Can You Make? You could take on another artist's art style, like this is Ashley Monet, do a 1 color challenge, or simply follow an art prompt. You never know what you'll create. Number 8, remember it's a sketchbook, not an art book. You can and should fill it with doodles, swatches, studies, whatever you like. All of those things belong in a sketchbook. Managing your expectations lowers the pressure you put on yourself, and that will actually help your creativity. Plus, a lot of these ideas are very quick to do. The best thing that's helped with perfectionism has truly been the daily doodle diary. If you don't know, I've actually been drawing every day for over 2 years now, and filming everything for the crazy series that's up on the channel. But I cannot stress how much it helps to have a sketchbook that is labeled on the front, either a messy sketchbook or an ugly sketchbook or a doodle sketchbook, to remind yourself of that every single time you go in it. Before the daily doodle diary, I never used to create pieces like this. They really are just little quick sketches. Nothing incredible, nothing that really stands out. A lot of the time it's just silly little doodles. And there's nothing wrong with that. You're creating a sketchbook. It's not supposed to be a masterpiece. Chances are you're using a medium in a sketchbook that isn't completely designed for it. Personally, I like to use watercolor, and no sketchbook paper compares to Arches or Fabriano Artistico that don't really come in sketchbooks. So it's never going to be incredible, it's never going to match that. And we can't expect our sketchbooks to. There are also so many ways that working in a sketchbook can go wrong because it's designed to be used on the go. If any water gets on a sketchbook, you can kind of reactivate the medium. The pages can get crumpled, things can accidentally bleed through the page. If you get too attached to your sketchbook and too precious over your pieces, it's going to be a very sad day when something doesn't quite go right. I had this happen before when I did a plein air painting outside, and then a few pages later swatched something pink. It went through the binding and ruined that piece. Unfortunately, that does happen. If you truly love a piece you've created, don't forget to scan it or take a very good photo, because you never know what can happen in a sketchbook. It's not an art book, and it is a place for everything. Do doodle, sketch, jot, make notes. All of that will help your perfectionism and help you fill a sketchbook faster. Plus, it means for all of the bigger art projects, you have everything all documented and together that's a part of your journey. Whether that's an earlier sketch or a refined sketch, or something that you explored, or some swatches, even just random blobs and blends. Remember that your sketchbook is you and your journey. Keep it all together and you'll have a wonderful memory to look back on. And those are my 8 top tips and tricks to finish a sketchbook quickly. I hope this has given you something to think about. If you found these helpful, make sure to subscribe. Are there any that you might try next? Let me know down below, and I'll meet you back here on Thursday with a new video. Bye bye.